A few things you should be afraid of and watch out for. First up is flowers. You might think of flowers as a beautiful thing that can perfume your house, but you better watch out for them. Some are poisonous. If you smell them, you can get really sick, might even die. And if you've ever heard of a fly trap, the fly traps can catch flies and eat them. And if you might be walking around past one and if you were really near one, they might bite your hip or your hand if you were like touching it. Mm-hmm. So that's the first step. And another flower that I haven't explained yet is the poinsettia. It's got red leaves and it's a Christmas plant. And do you know why you can watch out for it? Inside the red, beautiful leaves, there was poison, white as milk, maybe as snow. And if it was on the floor, and you weren't that smart, you might pick it up and taste it. That is not a good idea, because you might think it's like cream or milk. That is not a good idea. Now, next up is couches. Couches or sofas. Do you know why? Because if you are sitting like on a couch, it's like a very comfy like piece of furniture. But if you were like playing on the edge of a couch, you might even fall off and crack your skull open. So that's why you should really be watching out for couches. Another reason you should watch out for couches is because you might suffocate. Oh my God. Because what if you were like playing hide and seek and you hid in a couch and you lifted it up and hid under it and there was no air holes? You could suffocate and die. Another thing you should watch out for is mosquitoes. When they take someone's blood and they might have a disease, it would itch. And then it might get passed on to your blood and then it gets spread. And it can be like maybe like all around the state, but that has not happened just yet. And it's like 1,000 something people get bit by mosquitoes a year. That's why you shouldn't be near mosquitoes. And good thing is there's some mosquito sprays, but you don't want to really use those. There's one thing that you should use. You should take a net and cut it open and like hang it onto a tree and put Limburger cheese in it. So if you're walking outside, they won't come to you. They'll go to the Limburger cheese because what they smell is Limburger cheese. And here's another tip. Hold your breath for as long as you can and then take another breath if a lot of mosquitoes are near you. And next up is glass. If you were like walking in a school, there's pictures on the wall, and maybe you bumped one that wasn't really good, put it on the wall, it could fall down and it could like pierce a piece of glass into your heart and you could die. And also,
I don't want that to happen to me. This is my hallway.
And if paint gets in your mouth, you can get really sick. And it'll go into your stomach and it affect your stomach. So that's why you shouldn't really be touching glass. And it also hurts. Another thing is hair. You might think as hair as a thing that doesn't scare you, but it actually can. If you were playing with your hair and some got in on your mouth and you were eating, like the hair could go down your breathing tube. And if it was a lot, it could clog up your breathing tube. You wouldn't be able to breathe. And
then when you can't breathe too much, you just
die.
faint and die. Right away. At the same time, I think. But maybe a little bit slower, like faint die.
Another thing you should watch out for is doors. You might think as doors as a simple machine. That is good. But if you're not careful, you can slam the door on your fingers and it can come straight off.
And you say, oh good, good.
And your fingers can come off. And another thing is monkeys. Monkeys and gorillas can jump on humans and kill humans.
But one point is, maybe monkeys threw bananas at a person, and they might have ate the wrapper of the banana, and they'll get really sick after a wrapper of the banana. Okay? So watch out of bananas and monkeys.
And because the gorillas and monkeys are smart creatures, so they can like sometimes rip open you, literally. If you don't believe me, and they can rip you to shreds. And some monkeys eat meat, so they can like take bites out of you, and you can show up like at work with huge bite marks. And another thing you should watch out for is phones.
Phone?
Because like sometimes you're like in New Orleans and the storms look so beautiful, and you're in a lightning storm and you're filming. What if your phone has a crack in it? Maybe a drop of water gets in your phone that has been hit with lightning, and maybe and the phone could explode on your hand, maybe even on your face.
Can you do that face? Turn it to you and do that face. Turn it to you.
Ow!
Okay, wait, sisters are dangerous
And
too.
that would hurt.
And faces.
Stop.
Stay in scene. Okay, go.
You should really stop when you're out in the rain with a phone. Another thing you should watch out for is drumsticks. You can get really injured with drumsticks. Like if you were rubbing your drumsticks together like this, you rub it too hard, you can create a fire. Do not talk about that. That is something people will not believe. And that means you.
I am not going to talk about it because I was thinking about you. And you said that. So I'm going to think about it now. And don't hit me with those sticks, please. You might make a fire, please.
I will not. Another thing is when you might be like doing this with a drumstick, you could break it apart and splinters can get in your hands. Another thing is if you're banging it like up high, and if you're not careful, you could bang it against your head and it could crack your skull. But I'm doing it carefully, so it doesn't hurt, and it doesn't crack my skull.
Fleur, that's too hard, actually. A point is, you might be raining pickles.
And another thing is acid.
Oh,
Acid can
what? We didn't just say that.
acid can get in your eyes and it infect your eyes, and you might even turn blind for the rest of your life. And it usually is in plants, certain plants, and that means pickles. If it gets too deep into your eyes, it can really, and it might even get into your brain, and it can infect your brain and the signals. And another type of acid is milk acid. When it gets into your stomach, it turns into a type of acid that, and if you can't have milk or dairy, you can throw up a lot. And say if like a dog was licking up food or the spot that you threw up, what if the dog gets sick? And then it gets passed on to another dog and another dog and another dog. What if a dog dies? And another thing you should watch out for is bags. Do not put a bag over your head. You could suffocate to death if you were holding it too tight around your neck. And another dangerous thing is hands. Don't talk about hands as a dangerous thing, because people will not believe that. Hands are dangerous. They sometimes do it to yourself or to other people. If you have a strong hand, you can like grab someone's neck and like suffocate them to death. Or if you had like these metal rings on, you can, and you were saying like I made a mistake, you can smack your face and it could like cut your eye. Another thing is glasses. Glasses are something that are very useful and also dangerous.
What dangerous? I don't believe.
Because like, what if you were throwing a ball and you had glasses on? What if the ball got hit in your face and the glass broke into your eyes?
I knew you were going to say that.
And that can be really dangerous. But they can take out your eyes and put in glass eyes. But then you would definitely be blind. Another thing is, light. Definitely light. Another thing that can blind you. If you look at light, a super bright light, you could be blind for the rest of your life. Don't shine a phone light in your eyes, like directly at your eyes. Another thing is,
That's scooters.
Oh yeah, definitely scooters. Because my little sister was riding on a scooter and she fell and she got a huge bloody nose and got a big bump on your head. Got a big bump on her head and she did not look good. She was dizzy and she couldn't remember for a few days. And scooters are dangerous too. That's how my sister got a huge bloody nose and a scratch on her nose. And another thing is glue.
Hot glue gun, right?
Both. Hot glue guns can burn you if you touch the metal tip. And you might even be bleeding a lot. Another thing is regular glue that doesn't burn you. Do you know why? Because if you put the Elmer's glue and you stick it on, it can be really hard to get off. And the cure is hot water. And it could hurt if you put hot water on your hands.
So if you had a Bobo and you put hot water and you had glue on it, it will.
Yeah. Another thing is frogs. Because there are ponds that are polluted and frogs live in it. And what if a frog jumps on your face? Maybe puts one of their foot in their mouth and you swallowed the polluted water. You could get really sick. And also, you might have heard of this. Wasps. Wasps have a deadly sting. And what if you are allergic to wasps? You can get really hurt. People have died from wasps.
And now it's bedtime, so do a conclusion.
And the last thing is ants. My mom was sitting on a bench in New Orleans and waiting for the bus. And a whole bunch of fire ants crawled on her and bit her. And she had a fever. And it hurt a lot. So you should be looking out for ants. You can eat some ants, but some of them are poisonous. So you should be an ant expert. So you know the differences between ants. There are thousands of ants, so you would want to be an ant expert. And that's what you should be for your job, an ant expert. This is all we have for this week. Come again later and learn about some other dangerous things.